Hi, thanks for joining me. Standing outside of Masjid Omar bin Khattab, I suppose, in good old little Somalia. Muslim brothers making conversation, making socialization. The reason I'm saying it like that is because they say like there's a word in Arabic called wadu, which means like the ritual prayer, like you wash before you pray your 5 daily prayers. And so like the brothers will say make wudu. And then there's a word called dua. Dua is when you supplicate to God. Supplicate meaning you pray. Now of course in Islam there's two kinds of prayers. There's a daily prayer, but then there's the prayer where you're talking to God. So when you say prayer in Christianity, you generally mean talking to God. Anyway, the word dua means prayer in Christianity, like talking to God. And so the brothers once again will say make dua. In any case, I just got a phone, and so I thought I'd make my first post-release YouTube video. And I wanted to just very quickly talk about the beauty of like life, like the amazingness of life. Like this is what you learn in jail. Basically you learn the value of everything, like everything, just being alive. And I want to take you through that thought process. I just wrote a blog post about this very thing, and it's top of mind. And of course when you get out of jail, you want to bottle that feeling, and we talk about it inside. It's like, you know, oftentimes, in fact most of the time, you just forget, and you don't learn your lessons, and you just forget, right? You forget the horror and the suffering that you go through in jail. And it's not that bad, although there are moments, this kind of thing. My name's Hussein, by the way, Hussein Zaidi, Z-A-I-D-I, aka Zaidi Boy. For what it's worth, I'm a digital marketer. I used to sell software for 2 and 4 Fortune 500 companies. And I went to jail for arson. I'm actually a person that suffers from bipolar syndrome, but only when I smoke weed. I hope the audio is good. It's a great phone. It's like one of the most expensive phones I've purchased, which for me is like is like in the $300 range. So yeah, so this is Torontopia, by the way. This is Parliament Street, Little Somalia. And you may have noticed, you probably did, and you're like, what the hell is wrong with this video? It's widescreen, because I'm a purist, right? And that's all that is, right? And so ideally you would watch this on your monitor. In any case, I just like widescreen, and that's what I do. And I know like internet marketing gurus like Alex Becker, who I hero worship, insist that you hold your phone and create content the way you hold your phone. You just, because people consume it like that. Most people consume YouTube videos on their phones. And so for me to make it widescreen, anyway, it is what it is. So now, I've already spent 3 minutes in that preamble. I think it's pretty decent in terms of an introduction. In the past, I've gone on for hours and hours. Let's take a scenic detour. So, yeah, I got arrested. I could probably go to jail if I cross through here, so I won't do that. Like literally, if I walk through here, in fact, me standing here, I should probably go to the other side of the road or just pass through. I don't know. Like, yeah, like I was arrested at one of my charges. Like I said, arson, but there was also like some security guards at this address, and I shouldn't be here. Like I probably shouldn't be on this side of the road. I don't know what to say. Like if someone sees this and you want to arrest me over on account of something like that, even though I did the right thing. And that's another discussion, like the criminal justice system in general. The general average person has the idea that, oh, well, the good guys win. I don't know what kind of idea the average person has, frankly, but generally with regards to law and order, the average person thinks, well, yeah, if you do crime, you go to jail. This is correct a lot of the time, if not most of the time. But unfortunately, there's a lot of cases where you go to jail and you haven't done crimes. And it's just stupid things and misunderstandings and he said, she said. It's all about the he said, she said bullshit. I think you better quit letting shit slip or you'll be leaving with a fat lip. It's just one of those days when you don't want to get up. This is a Limp Bizkit song. Anyway, it's so nice to be outside of jail. This was the whole point of this video. And this is a new channel. And so I may have upload restrictions. In the past, I've rambled on for an hour, 2 hours, all kinds of stuff. I will have links at the bottom here to some of my past YouTube channels. And unfortunately, for the last 10, 12 years, cannabis use disorder / bipolar chronic syndrome, chronic bipolar disorder, the chronic, what calls of Narnia, lazy Sunday, wake up in the afternoon, call Parnell just to see how it's doing. Parnell, yo, what's up? It's Sandberg, we're cracking. You thinking what I'm thinking? Narnia, now it's happening. So yeah, Toronto, beautiful city, but I've heard it from many that, like New York, it's like make you or break you, this kind of thing. And so this has basically broken me. So yeah, this is disrupting the peace, by the way. I could probably go back to jail for this as well, popping the juice box, right? But it's so cool when it works, right? When it works. That was pretty good. It was like a little baby gun cap. So now, my point here was to simply share with you the joy of a new release from jail. It's been 12 days, but it's still there, and it's very much there because I've made this thinking a part of my life and my day-to-day mindset. And what it all boils down to is more or less a saying of my wife. She used to have an email tagline, which was, you never know the value of something until you lose it. And of course, this is the case, right? And of course, there's no way around it. And you simply cannot enjoy, you simply cannot enjoy life as much as someone who's been to jail. This is really what it boils down to the extent that it's just like the line from Pulp Fiction where the guy gets his car scratched, John Travolta, and he's like, yo, I got a paint job or something, or I got a new car or something, or he's got a great car or something, and then someone keys it. Someone keyed the car, man. I can already tell this is like I'm getting carried away here, and I didn't want to do this, but I really enjoy doing these things, right? They're very cathartic for me. I'm going to try and keep it under 15 minutes because, again, I might have upload restrictions. And check out my past YouTube channels. There's more of them, frankly. I'll put a few of them down there, but there may be more of them. There probably are. I don't know. There's always way more. There's always been more videos that I shoot than upload, I think, or at least a good amount that I never put online. And most of it, if you visit some of the old stuff, if it hasn't been taken down, because I've been getting notices from YouTube saying that some of my old content, because I was manic and bipolar, it would always start that I'd basically start just a normal YouTube channel, and then the damn thing would go like down the tubes, right? So this is more or less the ghetto. Like, I got to be very careful what I'm doing here. If I point the camera in this direction behind us, like there, okay, say I gotta be very careful. I'm just doing a 360. Anyway, this is Moss Park, and so like basically like you have to be careful in this neighborhood. Like, I've come through here many times and I'm very respectful to people, and if someone says stop that, I'll stop it, this kind of thing. But you don't want to be filming like people that are down and out, or that are, it's like the ghetto. This is basically the ghetto. There's a homeless shelter over there. In fact, I'm staying at a homeless shelter right now. This is part of what I'm going to be talking about in this. This is part of what I'm going. Huh?
I come to your fucking neighborhood.
I live here, bro. Chill.
Yeah.
Just chill out. What? What's wrong? Like, what's the problem? See you later, I'm leaving. So yeah, no idea what the fuck that was all about. Anyway, yeah, so in my blog post about jail, I just want to get these thoughts out. I mean, it's very straightforward stuff, and I always end up rambling because there's always more. Basically, you never know the value of something until you lose it. And in jail is the ultimate poverty. Jail, you have nothing. Like, at least if you're poor and you're out on the street, you can go and beg or walk around. You just walk around and you'll find all kinds of stuff, right? So let's go off the beaten path here for a bit. But in jail, you don't have shit. You don't have nothing. If you are missing a sock, then you're fucked. If you don't have toothpaste and the guard doesn't bring you one, he'll say, yeah, I'll bring you one. Every 20 minutes they come around and they look in all the. There's no bars in Toronto South Detention Center where I was incarcerated. There's a steel door and then there's the window, and then every 20 minutes they're mandated, the corrections officers, COs, they're mandated to come around every 20 minutes and check in on you to make sure you're not dead or doing something you shouldn't be doing or some goddamn thing like this. And of course, you'll ask the guy, can I have some toothpaste or can I have toilet paper, blah, 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 this and that. Now, he may or may not bring it, and there's so many degrees of suffering in jail, like you can't imagine. Like poverty, how about the poverty of you're in the dark and you want to read and the guy keeps forgetting to turn your light on, and every 20 minutes and then he goes away somewhere, like these kinds of things. When you're dying to get the goddamn light turned on in your jail cell, right, so you can read, then you understand poverty. This is what that is. And of course you can't go anywhere, right? You're stuck there. This is self-evident. And then you're trapped in time and space. You may or may not have a release date, and I guess I have to say it's very hard in the beginning. It's very hard. This is like the lecture I give a lot of new people that come through. I see this glazed look. I probably had it myself in the early days, right? You get this glazed look because it's very hard. You feel like you're suffocating. You feel the ultimate despair. You feel the ultimate depression. You feel the ultimate like hardship. It's impossible to. You feel the ultimate injustice. A lot of times, like, what the fuck? Like, let's say I punch somebody, just some like, if I did it, I'd probably go away for 6 months at least, because I've got a record. But if you just walk up to someone and get into a fight, and like, hopefully you're not going to punch some random person, and I'm a non-violent person for what that's worth. But one of the differences between Christianity and Islam is that in Islam, you can't just like turn the other cheek. Like, you're good to a limit and within reason. But if you're enabling someone, or if someone is oppressing people, then you have to stop that person, and you mustn't let someone oppress you. Anyway, I'm rambling a bit. So now, the value of things. I've said for years, and jail made this even truer, of course. Yay, my lucky day. When you're living on the street, like finding a lighter. Oh shit, a lighter that works. A lighter that works. Yeah, because I do smoke. You'll be happy to know that I hate cigarettes, right? And I'm very anti-cigarette, dear user. And I call my viewers users because I come from a softer world. This is tobacco, right? So let's just roll one of these and I'll show you how it's done. And maybe we can clean up some garbage or pretend to while we're at it. Nice backhand there, my friend. Very nicely done, my friend. Keep up the good work. And soon you'll be at the semi-pro level in no time, I say. So yeah. Okay, so now, the value of things. The value of things is like, I'm trying to fashion something like they should invent it, and they have invented it, and I used to have something like that. But I'm trying to fashion something I can stand the camera on. Oh, the camera go. Oh, doo. So yeah. Oh, there we go. So I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna cheat. So don't panic. I've turned it a long ways for now, and I can barely see it. It's so hot right now in Toronto, and there's so much sun glare. And I've turned up the brightness on the phone. So this is basically what I do. It's like tobacco. It's tobacco. I don't know if you can see this, dear user. Tobacco and then rolling papers. What kind of tobacco? The right kind, I say. Not very expensive tobacco, like cigar tobacco. And yeah, the right kind, meaning not like they used to sell, or they still do, I'm sure, like the bastard cigarette companies. They sell you this stuff and they call it tobacco, and it's just more cigarette crap. Cigarettes are not tobacco, and cigarettes are carcinogenic, and cigarettes have 50 industrial strength chemicals. This is the thing right here. I just got a pack of these. They keep going up in price. They're the cheap cigars. Like the homies like take these and they roll blunts out of them, right? And yeah, one of these is like $5 right now. It used to be like $2.50 or $3 or like whatever. Everything is becoming more expensive. So one of these packs is like $18, right? And it used to be like 13 or 12 or whatever. It still saves you a lot of money, because one pack of cigarettes here in Canada is $15, right? So yeah, you got your goddamn rolling papers. By the way, if you have rolling papers and you have a lighter, that's all a child needs to get high or to smoke, right? Like, I don't mind saying at this point that my cousin and I, how did I start smoking? My cousin and I, looking for my rollies. Okay, so here's the rollies. And we got a new lighter, so we can use that. And it's funny, like I have almost the same color blue big lighter. And so, what does that say to you, right? And you can't see nothing because of the sun glare. It's so hot right now in Toronto. It feels like 42, this kind of thing. It's unheard of. It's really effing hot. So now, being in jail. So, first of all, it's very hard. And it's hard on every level. And you may even get killed or hurt in jail by other inmates or other guards. And all of this, by the way, this is what I was trying to say earlier, is you punch someone and you go to jail for 2 weeks. To me, this is like, the punishment doesn't fit the crime. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm missing a big part of it, but maybe I'm missing the public safety aspect of it, right? Like, it's not just that you punched one guy, it's just that you basically, like, you poo-pooed on public safety, like the concept of public safety. Now, if I'm not unlucky, if I'm lucky, if I didn't get this wrong, then okay, so we're already on 18 minutes, and so I'll try and upload this. If you're watching it, obviously I succeeded. Yeah, you gotta verify your phone and things like this, but YouTube right now doesn't like me. Like, they've been sending me notices, or when I try and click on some of my old videos, it shows up and everything, and then but when I click on the video, then it starts effing around that this has been removed and we need to take you through some process, some kind of vetting process. As far as I'm concerned, smoking tobacco the way God made it and meant it to be smoked, there's nothing wrong with it at all. These things, I maybe smoke 3 or 4 or 5 of them a day. Let's say 5. And like, out of one cigar, you can get like a bunch of them. Obviously, like, one cigar lasts at least 2 days. Like, if I'm smoking like a mad hound. I've been smoking a lot recently. I find myself smoking more. But they're more enjoyable. You smoke less, you enjoy them more. And when I'm in jail, I miss them on like from a cerebral aspect, but they're way better than cigarettes. Trust me, 100 carcinogens, 100 cancer-causing agents that cigarette has, and 50 industrial strength chemicals. As a rational being, if you smoke cigarettes and you consider yourself a rational being, then you must it's not rational to smoke cigarettes without at least having the hope of quitting one day or something like this. And I wouldn't go with vapes. I don't like them myself, and like, you got to be very careful that you get a good vape and that it doesn't have health consequences. But pure tobacco out of a cigar, like, the funny thing is, like, I'll have people come up to me and it's like, out of 100 people, who ask me for a smoke, maybe 1 or 2 will actually smoke this thing. And I packed it tight because I was distracted, my friends. Anyway, jail again. So the value of a smoke, the value of being outdoors, the value of just sitting around, free and alive and healthy and with options and people and opportunities, all these things. Like, this is the big picture. The small picture is, you go to jail and you suffer. Like, if you're lucky, you go for a couple of days, a few days, and you're out of there and you never go back. A lot of people, for some reason or the other, keep ending up in jail again and again. And it's just like sales. The first few months are very hard. It takes a matter of weeks or months at least to become not institutionalized, but to what I'd like to think of as growing stronger. This is what I tell the new people. I see this, and this is a Canadian Armed Forces like base or something. There's like some armament on the front there somewhere. They used to have some kind of artillery gun or something. Anyway, it's cool stuff, trust me. Charlie Alpha Frank. So, like sales, like the first few months, it's the hardest thing in the world. And it's like a sales mentor of mine said once. He said, it's very hard in the beginning to get the tap on, but once the tap is turned on, then you're set for life, right? So now that I have a phone, I'm planning to just get back into sales, in particular lead generation. So I'm not interested in closing deals, because the hardest part, everyone knows, is generating interest, the door knocking, or the so-called open door phase of the sales process. So if you're interested in sales or marketing, you can email me at fixmysalesprocess@gmail.com. Or just leave me a comment here. I'd love to hear back from you in any case. I'm rambling here. I've been talking for 22 minutes, and I've kind of said a little bit about what I wanted to really say, but I haven't really laid it out for you. So I want to just go through the thought process. And so it's like this. The side note is that it's very hard going to jail, and you suffer immeasurably. Like, there's suffering that you cannot, it's unimaginable suffering, like physical and psychological, and then you're humiliated and people talk down to you, and like you're in a court and everyone else is wearing a suit and you're in an orange jumpsuit and they're talking about you in the third person and things like this, and it's dehumanizing. Jail is the ultimate experience to teach you again, like the value of life, like how to appreciate life, right, and appreciate what we have. So now you go through this hard phase, and it's like one of my cellies said, because I met lots of people who were way further down this path than me, people that had been to jail for so-called big time. I did 18 months. I got credit at time and a half, and I spent 6 of those months in solitary confinement in segregation. It's not solitary and it's not confinement, but it is like you only get out of your cell 2 hours a day if you're lucky. And that's only because I was in the program. Otherwise, in solitary, in administrative segregation, as it's called, it's pretty bad. Like, I mean, I was fine because I had the 4 or 5 things that I started preaching and doing in life and in jail. That I will now share with you, my dear listener, viewer, user. So prayer / meditation, exercise, reading, and I would certainly say writing. I'm getting to a point, and I'm there, I suppose, where I'm gonna be saying writing as one of these things. You should write every day. If you know how to write, you should write every day. Write what? Write anything. Write your to-do list, or at the start of the day, 2 to 5 things you want to do that day, or anything that's on your mind. Or mi esposa vieja, my ex-wife, she writes notes to God. They're so cute. She writes notes to God. She reads the Bible and prays and meditates and whatnot in the morning for 2 hours every day. She gets up at 5 or 6 o'clock, and for years she read toda la... Mi esposa es colombiana, by the way, bogotana, cristiana, real, no como aquí. Aquí es una vez en una semana. Lunes, on Sunday you go to church, and then you call that being a Christian. In La Santa País of Colombia, de Colombia, they're Santa meaning holy. They're very holy people, and they are very beautiful people, and they're very happy people, and it's a piece of heaven. Colombia is a beautiful, beautiful place, and if you have the luck to visit there, you won't want it. Like, there's many people that go there, and myself included. I didn't want to leave. I tried getting a job there. My Spanish wasn't good enough. I tried getting a job teaching English or IT or something like this, and it wasn't meant to be, right? I had to come back here and do my time. Anyway, so if you read every day, I tell people it's worth going to jail for. Many like thugged out gangster, like bullet popped people go to jail, and they're reading like Dostoevsky and things like this, right? And it's awesome. It's just awesome. If you read every day, it's worth going to jail for. Imam Ali, peace be upon him, on a side note of a side note, said many strange and wonderful things, and I encourage you to let's keep going here. I encourage you to so I'm gonna put this up again. So if this keep going upside down and the right way up, then I apologize. It's not about the visual, of course. It's about what I'm trying to explain to you. And trust me, it's good stuff. It's life-changing stuff. Like if you just simply understand it like this, that it could always be worse. It could always be worse. And so I'll get there very quickly. Now, reading every day, worth going to jail for. Exercising every day, it's worth going to jail for. I dare say for an indefinite amount of time. If you go to jail for 5 years and you work out, like me, like my chest is now bigger, because I've been going to gyms like the normal guy for my whole life, and I haven't been able to like see any kind of real change. And it took going to jail to get that done too, because I started doing push-ups. Right in the beginning, for the longest time in my jail career, and for my 6 months in segregation this last time, the first 6 months of these 18, I was in segregation. I'd roll up my mattress every day and tie it with my sheets, and I'd walk back and forth with the mattress on my shoulders, and I'd do curls with it. And then there's Toronto streetcar, Toronto streetcar. But we don't need to get on one. We're just around the corner. Construction everywhere. Robots are everywhere. Computers are everywhere. The future is There's a Tom Green rap album. Tom Green is the comedian. @ Tom Green Live. He's coming out with new show and things like this. I've been a long time fan of his. I saw him live in Calgary, and he's just out there. He's just one of the funniest guys I find. I find his stuff very funny, and I think he's a great guy, etc. And he had a song on this album. It was called Prepare for Impact. Song was called Science, and it was like this. It had this weird like 80s, like, and again, like right up the road here, it's on the other side, it's ghetto central. Like, there's major drug deals and things like that going on, even on this side, like at the end of like the fence here. So I got to be careful about who I'm filming. I've been doing this for years, and a lot of the people around here know me anyway. So now, reading every day, it's worth going to jail for. I would tell people all the time that there's a specific books, certain books, many books, that it was worth going to jail just to read that book. Moby Dick I read in jail. David Copperfield I read in jail, right? These kinds of things. The Bible, the whole Bible. Like I was saying, my wife, mi esposa bonita cristiana real, in Colombia you go to church every day, or at least on Tuesday and Sunday, and then you fast for 40 days and these kinds of things. If you just go to church once a week, then there's more to Christianity than that, and ultimately you are a church. And while I'm at it, I tell people now that I don't know what my family's going to think about this. Hopefully they'll understand that anything done in love is correct. But I tell people now, with regards to Muslim and Christian, being a Muslim married to a Christian, basically, my wife's a Christian. That pretty much makes me a Christian, right? So, and Islam is Christianity plus, Christianity is Judaism plus. So there's a lot of traffic over there. I'll just hang here for a second. So now, if you exercise every day and you go to jail for 5 years, still, it's worth it. You'll live 5 years longer and you'll live healthier and all these things. So in the beginning, like one of my cellies said, one of these people that's done penitentiary time, like years, or like he has that mindset. There's some people that in the jail system or outside, and for them, they say it doesn't even make a difference whether or not you're in jail or outside of jail. That's the ultimate. And that may seem like a stretch. Like to me, of course, like it's unfathomable. Like how can you compare being in jail to being free, right? The streetcar's coming, bro. Goddamn streetcar was gonna stop when we were both gonna cross, eh? So now, there's some guys that have done a lot of time and they say it doesn't make a difference whether you're in jail or outside of jail. I'm like, what do you mean by that? Like, what do you mean? It's like, you just don't think of it. For me, of course, it makes a big difference, so I'm not quite there. But ultimately, and in theory, I do posit it's the same. And in fact, as a Shia Muslim who follows the family of Muhammad, peace be upon them all, the great grandson of Muhammad, the 6th Imam or leader from his family, that's who us Shias follow. The caliphs are the secular leaders that were elected by the Muslims after the death of Muhammad. We don't follow those caliphs. We follow the holy imams from the family of Muhammad. Just like you had Moses, peace be upon him, who had Aaron, peace be upon him, who was his successor and designate here and these kinds of things. So our 6th Imam, peace be upon him, was visited by some guy who just had been released from jail recently, like myself. And the guy was complaining about jail. Like the holy Imam, peace be upon him, asked him how he was doing, things like this. And the man said, this is the Indonesian consulate. I've never seen a sign of life here. No idea if this thing is functioning. Cool statues. It's at Jarvis in Richmond. Just FYI. Never seen anyone go in or out of there. My wife has the same car. I probably shouldn't be telling people. She doesn't like me talking about her business. Okay, so Mystic Muffin. I'm just around the corner from the Mystic Muffin. So I'm gonna just hang here and finish this thing up. And it's already 33 minutes. It's a disaster. Like, I wanted to wrap it up under 15 minutes. I had my bullet points, all these things. But this thing is it's just something I like doing. If you do check out some of the other YouTube channels I've got in the description at the bottom there, then I've got many videos with thousands of views, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,000 views. But again, like, I don't know if all of those are working. If you could let me know if you have some feedback, that'd be great. But this is just something I enjoy doing. I mean, I've made videos about like atheism, and I'm just gonna find a quiet spot over here. Is everything all right over there, man? It's only fun until someone gets hurt, children. street, guys. Don't expect any sense. A street person is feral. Feral meaning he's basically like a wild human. I don't know what the sound is going to be like. I'm hoping that this goddamn phone has some good audio and sound dampening. Now, reading every day, worth going to jail for. Writing, you should do every day. And I wrote a 100,000-page book. I could have written 3. It took me 6 months, right? I wrote 500 words a day. That's all it is. Like, just doing a thing every day. My advice is, if you want to try something in life, do it every day and do it for at least a month, if not 2 to 3 to 6 months, right? Like this kind of thing. But every day is how you succeed. If you want to build something or succeed at something or do something or change, every day, right? Like working out every day, eating healthy every day. Now, praying every day, if you learn how to pray, if you feel like, it's a known thing that you find God in jail, right? So my cellie, what I wanted to say to you is, he just said a simple thing. Like I take it as a jailism now. He said, it's tough in the beginning, but it gets easier. So after a year in jail, I went for a bail hearing in December of 2024, and they denied me bail because my arson was pretty serious. And I set a jacket on fire in the hallway of my wife's building. I was at her place. We started arguing. I smashed the plate and left, and she tossed my jacket out into the hallway, and I set it on fire. A summation. But I was just being a dick, is the thing, right? I wasn't trying to burn her door down or burn her apartment down. I wasn't trying to hurt her, God forbid. But they thought I was. Let's just put it like this. And this is a very serious thing in any case. I tell people, and I'll tell you guys too, don't set any fires indoors. Don't set a piece of paper on fire. Don't set a wastebasket fire. Don't do any stupid thing like this indoors. I tell people, don't even flick your freaking Bic indoors. Now, reading every day, exercising every day. If you write every day, it'll change your life. Just writing every day, I'm telling you what, just start writing, guys. Like, I'm telling you what, write stuff down. Whatever you write down will happen. Let's just put it like that. I really think it's the law of attraction. I'd show you my notebooks and pieces of paper where I've written stuff. Like, you'll write some random thing, and then out of the blue, like, someone will just show up and talk about it or facilitate it and things like this. And anyway, so reading, writing, praying, if you find God, or let's say you don't believe in God or whatever that is, okay, then meditate. Like, this is my whole thing, right? If you meditate, if you actually meditate, it's like David Lynch, the director. I don't know if he's passed away yet, but he's a great guy, as everyone knows. And he says, well, meditation is money in the bank, is what he calls it. Because it really is the be-all, end-all. Once you get into a nice meditative zone, like, the body produces all of the feelings and sensations and chemicals, and you can relive all of the best and worst and most amazing things, and you can explore universes and all these kinds of things just in the comfort of your own skin. Hello. So pray/meditate, reading, writing, and exercising. These 5 things, like, you do them every day. And if you do any of them every day, it's worth going to jail for. Like my chest, I'm so proud of. I've always wanted a chest where, or a body where you look at a guy and you say, well, he works out. And it's like literally just push-ups. Going to the gym just didn't do it for me. Like, as far as I'm concerned, gyms make you fat. It's the usual, right? So now, the value of things. So jail is hard, but you get used to it. And then you get stronger. And I remind people, remember how you were panicking in the beginning and all this kind of stuff, and suffocating and crying. Everybody cries. And then eventually most people start praying as well. It's like the verse in the Quran where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala azza wa jal, God the most exalted. Allah just means God with a capital G. Christian Arabs use the word Allah too. Al-Masih ibn Allah, Messiah, son of Allah. And we say Masih ibn Maryam. Chapter 19 of the Quran is Mary, Maryam. Anyway, Jewish Arabs use the word Allah as well. And as far as I'm concerned, again, Christianity, Judaism, and Islam are all the same. And that's all that is, right? Really, like really. So now, you learn the value of things. So this is what happens now. You've come to realize that you're going to be in jail for a few weeks or a few months or whatever. And every day you wake up and you're like, fuck, I'm in jail. Now, if you just focus on this, and some people do, and it's like you're fantasizing about things that are out there and what you're going to eat when you get out, and you're missing your like old lady, and like how can you not, right? Things like this. But the key to the whole thing, the key to turn this whole thing around from woe is me. Oh, by the way, yeah, the 60 Imam was visited by this guy, and he asked him, how are things going? And the guy said, I was just released from jail. And the Holy Imam, peace be upon him, was listening, and the guy was complaining about it, like the usual, like, oh, I suppose the guards and the food is the, you know, same shit, different century. Like jail is jail, right? It's a peculiar kind of punishment. And I'll say again, like you slap somebody, that's assault. You punch somebody, that's called a simple assault. You'll go to jail for like 2 weeks to 4 weeks or something like this. And there's no comparison. Like just getting arrested is worse than 100 punches. Like I would rather be beaten to a pulp than spend a month in jail. And that's just without thinking off the top of my head. Like I would rather be beaten to a state where it would take me 2 to 3 days, 2 to 3 weeks, rather months, and I'd be fine again. That kind of thing, instead of going to jail. Not just one punch. And what to say of death threats? Like I've got my release papers in my bag, and I don't even understand the thing with threats. But again, at the end of the day, it's about law and order and the public welfare and things like this. And at the end of the day, this is Canada, right? And I'm some guy with cannabis use disorder, a failed marketing consultant or some goddamn thing, ex-Fortune 500, right? Software sales guy. Ha ha ha. Guys, the key to the whole thing of feeling bad versus good in jail or out of jail. So the guy was complaining about jail. The Holy Imam was smiling, and he had this habit, peace be upon him, of he'd have a twig or something and he'd be doodling something on the ground. I've read this about him in different narrations. So he listened to the man speaking and complaining about jail, and then he said, then he was smiling, and the guy's like, why are you smiling, O son of the prophet? And he says, you're complaining, you're in one jail complaining about another jail. And the man says, what do you mean by this? He says, haven't you heard the saying of the prophet that the world is like a jail for a believer? Now this saying is as follows: the world is like jail for a believer, and it's paradise or a garden for an unbeliever, or and the word unbeliever is very loaded. It just, all it means is like just a bad person. Like it's not about God, it's about being good or bad. There are people that care about others, there are people that are honest, there are people that are like they think about good things and they want good things. Like as far as that goes, Prophet Muhammad said that any person who, is that a cop car? No, it's not. Everything looks like a cop car. No, not really. I don't really give a hoot about some of these, like about cops or any of this stuff. Like some people in jail, they're like, oh my God, I'm going to get out and I'm just going to stay at home. I'm never going to leave unless it's groceries and stuff like this or work, right? And because they're black actually, and in their neighborhoods, the police will just pull you over. And if you're it's the wrong place and wrong time, you can go to jail, right? Anyway, these are all other discussions. The criminal justice system is something I want to talk about. So we're approaching an hour, and I'm going to try and wrap this up. Guys, the world is jail for a believer, and it's heaven or a garden for an unbeliever. Unbeliever is a loaded term. Muhammad said that anyone who loves good and hates evil is a believer. Anyone. Not even a Muslim, Christian, Jew. A Jewish person can be a believer. Anyone can be a believer. Good old emergency response services. Let's get some of this cop action. Hi, Litla! Nazis! What did you expect? They don't give a shit. Some of these guys know me. They're 51 Division. Anyway, I'm just being silly. I'm just joking, guys. I believe in law and order, eh? Just so that's clear, eh? So now, guys, anyone who, after doing something bad, feels sorry is a believer. I said this to an atheist friend of mine, and he's like, well, that would be me. And I'm like, exactly, that's the whole thing. Like, it's just like with Sharia law. First of all, The first defense of Sharia law, if I may, is that it's 1,000 times more diluted than the Torah law. Torah law, I don't even want to speak about the Torah. Like, the Torah is a beautiful book, but it's also an abomination. I'm sorry, like, I hope I don't disrespect any Jewish people or like Christians or something like this. You tell me. You read Deuteronomy, and there's a law in Deuteronomy like this. If I'm walking in the park, St. James Park, just down the way at King Street, I'm walking in the park with my wife, and I start fighting another guy, and my wife grabs his balls. Literally, this is what it says in Deuteronomy. If she does that, then her punishment is that her hand should be chopped off. Can you believe this? Right? So there's way more blood and gore and violence and abomination, I would say, in the Torah. There's stuff in the Torah that is just too much. I'm sorry to say this. There's a lot of great stuff in the Torah. There's way more good stuff in the Bible. At the end of the day, like I say now, do you. Like, the Canuck thing is like this. The Canadian thing is, if you're a Buddhist, be a good Buddhist. If you're a Christian, be a good Christian. If you're agnostic, just be the best you. And that's a whole different series of talks, right? Because I dare say I'm a completely different person. Like, these 18 months, like, I'm a completely different person. I've changed completely. I underwent a personal transformation in jail. I'm going to be telling you about this if you visit back, and I hope you do. I hope you, what is this thing? You favorite or subscribe to this channel, these kinds of good goddamn things. Guys, being in jail and outside of jail is exactly the same, ultimately. And in fact, being alive is the real thing. And the thing that turns around your thought process. So you wake up every day, and every day you're like, fuck, by the way, you dream really cool dreams in jail. Strange and amazing dreams, right? And dreams of freedom. I've dreamed many times that I was outside walking around or going to a store. And in the dream, I was asking, am I really out here? Am I really free right now? I can't believe I'm really free. Yeah, so you wake up though, and then you're like, fuck. And then you're locked, and COs are coming around every 20 minutes. And they may or may not unlock your doors, and you may get out onto the so-called range, where they've got TV, and they've got a yard with a basketball hoop, and it's kind of like half outdoors, like there's a grating with like cold air and like the weather elements coming in. It's really quite nice. There's an exercise bike. I get on this thing like twice a day, 40 minutes in the morning, 40 minutes in the evening. I had a very structured time in jail. I'll be talking about some of this stuff in future talks here. Hopefully they won't be this goddamn long, right? Are you kidding me? Like, I gotta eat, go get something to eat. I'm gonna be late for lunch. I told you I'm living at a homeless shelter right around the corner. I'll be telling you about that. I can't film in there, things like this, and I don't want to film any homeless people and things like this because people mind it, and of course it's a very personal thing, but I might as well share that aspect of things with you. I've done it like many times over the years. Homeless life. In fact, I'm very interested in reaching out to I discovered just yesterday, I was so excited. I thought to myself, and I've been thinking for years, that I would love to give back somehow and help people that are on the street and help normal people understand how good they have it, and like different kinds of things like this. There's a poverty reduction office in Toronto, and they're looking for people that have lived the street life, like to help and in an advisory capacity. So I'm going to be doing that for them, whether or not they take me on an official basis, if you know what I mean. Anyway, guys, jail is hard in the beginning. Like my cellie said, he said it so nicely, and that's all it is. In the beginning and stuff. So when they denied my bail after a year, and then at that point in time, I was looking at like 3 to 5 years is what they wanted. So I was looking at potentially going to the penitentiary to do big time, federal time, not provincial time. So now, yeah, he said it very, very nicely, and it's a beautiful thing. In the beginning, it's very hard, and it gets easier. And he was right. Like, when my bail was denied, it was easy for me, because what I did is I decided I'd write a book. This was my reaction. And so from December to July, when I was finally released, every single day, I would write 2 sides at least. Sometimes, once in a while, I'd write 4 sides, like 1 sheet of lined paper, 500 words. I got 200 of those. My lawyer, Mr. Thomas Combs of Legal Aid Ontario, he's a government guy. he works for the man. He's the best lawyer I've ever had, of course. If he's watching this, I hope he doesn't mind me mentioning him, and I need to get that stuff from him, hopefully. And I'm sure he has it in his safekeeping. Guys, jail gets easier. That's what that is. And you get used to anything. That's what that is. But with regards to jail versus freedom, right? So in jail, you get 1 packet of coffee a day. You get 1 packet of milk a day. You get 1 juice. You get like 3 certain meals a day, like, and that's all you get. And I'll be telling you stories in upcoming videos, hopefully, about how I literally had the most successful business experience ever in jail, trading coffees. Like coffee is like the money, because like there's some people that are like literally junkies for the coffee. They will like give their meal tray away for 2 coffee packets. Anyway, I would basically trade my snacks for I would buy snacks rather and sell them for more coffees, this kind of thing, at a profit markup. Anyway, and I had like 100 coffees. Like, this is insane. This is unheard of. And like food and bread and tea bags and sugar and like whatever, everything. Like people called my cell like a convenience store. They were coming and going all day. I had such a blessed time there. This is like the flip side of what I'm telling you. Jail is very hard and all these things, and there's all kinds of degradation and suffering and injustice and humiliation and mental and physical, even torture. Like, if the COs, the corrections officers, don't like you, they can and do beat you up. They've done this with me. They can and will refuse you meals. They've done this with me. They can take away your blankets. They can take away your mattress. And one of the worst experiences in this mortal domain is cold and hungry and angry and pissed off and bent out of shape night in jail, just waiting for the dawn, waiting for the breakfast cart to come, and for a lot of people it's just waiting for the next meal. Jail, and they're just watching TV and doing nothing, or just lying in bed. It's almost like half and half. Like, half people, like, they just do nothing, and half people do something. They have some kind of routine. I was the ultimate with the routine, and I'll get to that. I mean, I used to pray and meditate and exercise for like 3 hours a day, at least, if not more, like 40 minutes plus 40 minutes times 2, 40 minutes times 2 on the exercise bike, and then also like 300 push-ups or whatever in the morning, and then pray or meditate for 2 hours. People all the time, like guards and then other people, would say, hey man, how much do you pray? Like really, how much do you pray? And I'd always tell them I pray extra. But how can you explain it to a person that it's actually enjoyable? It's not a hardship, right? And exercise should get to a point where it's enjoyable. Anyway, guys, here's what this is. Like, this whole thing of like you're suffering. You wake up and you're like, shit, I'm in jail. Okay, if you focus on what's bad or the negative, then you're going to lose out. Somebody said to me, my neighbor, like one of these lines you learn in jail, and I knew, and you know, but here it is. Don't be sad about what you don't have. Be happy about what you have. Something like this. Be happy about what you have. Don't, and like, that's the thinking. And don't be bitter about what you don't have. And so over the course of weeks and months, like, this thing is now transformed. And I say it like this. Let's say that the human mind is prone to negativity, and you're prone to like question why, and why am I suffering, and what's the meaning of all this, and why is this like that, why is this like that, or things aren't as good as they could be, or whatever the hell that is. Like, this whole thing is like, it's incorrect thinking. Like, things are what they are how they are, right? And that's it, right? And they're amazing. They're like, I wish I could express to you this feeling that I have right now of just being alive and being able to just walk about and do things, and being free and being healthy and being in Canada and all these things, right? So this is the feeling that you have when you are first released from jail, and it's like, wow. And you think to yourself, if I could just bottle this. And this is what I'm trying to do with these videos, and this video, which I will certainly cut off at the 1 hour mark at this point, right? It's going to be one of these 1 hour videos. We'll see what YouTube thinks about this. Probably not much, right? Anyway, guys, so now, catastrophic thinking. I was, not anymore, I was thinking of writing a book along those lines. Let's say that you are prone to negative thinking and thinking about how bad things are. Well, if you are thinking about how bad things are, just take that a bit further and think about how much worse they could be. This is it. That's it right there. So now, we in Toronto, we get our Toronto Star newspaper and we see pictures of these people being deported by this fruitcake Donald Trump. Just cause these guys have gang signs or something, or tattoos or some markings. I don't know what criteria, if any, they're using to ship like dozens, scores, if not hundreds of people to El Salvador. I seen a picture in the newspaper of 50 guys in a holding cell in their boxers, right? And so you look at that and then you're grateful, and you think about stuff like that and you're grateful, and you remember that you have clothes in jail, you have food in jail, you're healthy. I was on a good range. They let us out every day from like 8 to 12 and then 2 to 6, right? And I had the most amazing time. I'll get into some of this. I can never explain what it was like. It was the best time of my life. I mean, of course, every single day I wanted to be out of jail. Freedom is a must. I will never acquiesce to being in jail over being free. If I'm given a choice, I would always rather be free. This is my bent in nature. Like, my wife and my friends know that I'm an explorer and I like moving about and things like this. Like, the worst torture for like a guy like me is being in jail, but through the grace of God, it was the best time. Like, even when I was locked down in solitary, I was meditating and praying, and I had all kinds of great books. Guys, that's basically what it is. You think about, like Seneca said, Seneca basically started this revolution, as it were, in my thinking. And you have to work at it, guys, and you can do it, and you won't think positive negative thoughts anymore. I generally don't think negative thoughts anymore. Like, you might be surprised to hear this. I have again had a personal transformation in jail. I think well of others, any other people. My Christian wife and my Christian friends have taught me you should pray for your enemies and pray for others in general, right? These kinds of things. And in any case, it's a beautiful life. It's an inexpressibly beautiful life. Seneca, the philosopher, was a Stoic, and he was an amazing guy, just on the level of Plato and Aristotle and Socrates. And these guys, by the way, were tortured and killed by some of the emperors and things like this, and were chased down by the clergy and things like this, like the scientists, right? They didn't live easy lives, right? These great men of history, a lot of times, like, they suffered greatly as well. In fact, all the time. So Seneca, like, was killed by Nero, the emperor of Rome, who killed his mom and his brother and his uncle, things like this, right? I don't know if those details are all correct. I think they're pretty accurate. And he's famous for playing his fiddle while Rome burned. Seneca was his tutor, like, from the age of 3 to 15, and he repaid him by killing him too. The Roman guards showed up and said, listen, you gotta go. And he tried to take hemp, or this thing that Socrates ate, the poison, I forget, not hemp, I forget what it is. Anyway, the hemp didn't work, and then he tried to cut his arteries, his wrists, and behind his ankles and knees, and that didn't work because he was so old. And they finally had to put him in a steam bath and steam him to death, the worst kind of torture of a death. And that was Seneca. But he was an amazing guy. He's a man of history, right? He's got a book called How to Die, among other things. Anyway, I've got 1 minute left. What Seneca said was, start your day thinking about all of those things that could have gone wrong that didn't. All of the bad stuff that could have happened. And that's basically it. And that's where I'll leave this at. So I am going to cut this off at the 1 hour mark. But jail teaches you the value of everything, and especially life. And if you're alive, just remember that the worst that could have happened, I realized in jail, is that you could have died. No matter how bad it is, you were at least alive. If you're 50 like me, or 40 or 30, I mean, people die in their teens and in their 20s. People die, like children die, unfortunately. Babies die in the mom's womb and things like this, right? So this is what it is. Like, so the reason you suffer is because you have this thing in your brain, which is like all these expectations. It's like the Buddha said, desire creates suffering. Desire, like, and you want things to be different, and they are as they are. So just get with it. See you later. Thanks.